All right, so it's Saturday morning. You'd think it was winter again. It's about 50 something degrees. We're packing up the truck. We're gonna go do a faux shiplap wall. Actually, probably 3 or 4 walls. So we cut up 7 pieces of the 1/4 inch Luan. If you guys watch my channel, you know I use a ton of this stuff. It usually went for about $12 a sheet. Now it's going for $15 a sheet, but it's still a good deal because the amount of shiplap that you get out of it, and once it's up on the wall, you can't tell the difference between a 1/4 inch one or 3/4 inch. So what we're going to do is get it up on the wall. We'll glue it and staple it to the wall. Probably actually use finish nails. We'll leave about a nickel gap in it, and then we're going to paint it gray and then do a whitewash over top of it. So it'll be somewhat distressed, but that makes it so we don't have to caulk in the seams because it's just not necessary when you do the distress. So getting ready to get started here shortly.
All right, so here's the area that's going to be shiplap. It's this wall here going down this hallway on both sides, and we'll come around this corner here. On the corners we'll do a little overlap to kind of protect them a little bit. I'll show you that later on, but this is the area that's going to be shiplap. I've already started. I got 1 piece up there, so it's just that 1/4 inch Luan in 8-foot strips. I cut them at 5 3/4. I have them cut the sheets down to 24 inches by 8-foot pieces at Home Depot. That way I can get them on the saw a little bit easier. And like I said, they're in 5 3/4 strips, so I get the most out of each sheet. And we'll leave a gap in the middle, about a nickel gap maybe in between. All right, so we're moving right along here. This doesn't take much time if you have all the pieces cut. So I'm not real fussy about leading up to the edge all the way because it's going to be covered. So as long as it's fairly close, and then we'll be able to cover a lot of these nail holes. And sometimes I cover the nail holes and sometimes I don't. If it's distressed, you really shouldn't worry about it. So this is going to have a gray and white finish over top of it. I kind of like this color here and just doing like a real loose wash over top of it so you can see some of it through there. So we'll see what happens. But we'll keep moving along here. I didn't bring the table saw with me or a miter saw, so I'm using the cutoff saw or the circular saw, depending on the piece. That way I don't have to keep running outside the house. All right, so moving along here, came around the corner. I've been mostly focusing on the large pieces, and then we go back and fill in on the smaller ones. I'm regretting not bringing a miter saw with me, so I'm going to go pick up a small one. Getting kind of hard to lug in a 12-inch sliding DeWalt saw to all jobs, so I'm going to get a smaller one. It's easier to move around. So once I get that, I'll be able to do multiple cuts at once rather than using just the small cutoff saw. It'll really move things along. Moving along here, got a lot of the short pieces cut. I haven't wrapped around the corners just yet. Still got some long lengths done above the doors here, and got a lot of the short areas in between the doors done, and getting ready to wrap around this corner here. Now that corner will have, like I said, I'm not being too fussy about the corners because I'm going to put basically a cap molding over it to protect the ends and cover the raw ends too. All right, so all the shiplap is up and the corner pieces are applied. All it is that same 1/4 inch. Just formed a corner out of it. There's 3 outside corners. You can see obviously the previous wall color underneath, but once what we'll do is we'll do a base coat of gray and do a white paint over top to give it that distressed look, and that'll fill that in so you won't see that color any longer. So getting ready to start the base coat. All right, got the base coat on. It goes on pretty quickly. I didn't have a large roller with me, so I ended up having to do it with a little 4-inch heavy nap roller, but it actually works really well and didn't take that long at all to do. It doesn't have to be perfect because, like I said, this is the base color. Wasn't real worried about getting in between the boards because the white's going to go over top of it and it's going to sink down in there. So that's the next step. I'm going to water down some paint, some white paint, and start applying. So here it is with the top coat on. I may add some more white here and there, but I kind of like the level of the distress. All it is essential gray from Sherwin-Williams with Behr sealing paint, B-E-H-R, like Home Depot Behr sealing paint. I water it down quite a bit so it flows good. You can see how it kind of catches on the ridges of the wood and it creates that distressed look. So it's a very forgiving finish that I think anybody can do as long as you kind of go with the grain. You can do probably 2 boards at a time, but I suggest going from side to side. Don't stop in the middle. But there again, it's a pretty forgiving finish. Obviously the door jams and still have to be painted, and there's some caulking around the jams, but overall it's pretty much finished. Hope somebody tries it. Thanks for watching.